Hello, Year 8. Today I'm going to read the assessment out. If you do not need a reader, or you feel like it would be distracting to listen to this, then you can just close this video and just go straight on with the assessment. Now, if you are sticking around to listen to me read the assessment out, just be mindful that I'll be going quickly through it, so if I will go too fast for you because I won't give you the time to answer the questions. Instead, all you have to do is pause the YouTube video. Now, to pause the YouTube video, the hotkey is just press K, or you can just click on the video. So, let's get started. Question 1. The drawing below shows 3 healthy young plants. Then, the drawing below shows the 3 plants after 2 weeks. Plant B did not have enough light. How can you tell from this drawing? Part 2. Plant C did not have enough water. How can you tell from this drawing? So, B. The drawing below shows a root hair cell. Give 2 substances that root hair cells absorb from the soil. Question 2. Nadine mixed grass seeds with sand. She put the mixture into 3 mesh bags to make 3 model heads. She soaked 2 of the bags in water. The drawing below show the model heads after 1 week. Part 1. Which 2 model heads did Nadine soak in water? Give the letters A, B, or C. How can you tell from the drawings? Part 2. Nadine watered both of these models for 2 weeks. She watered one more often than the other. How would the model that was watered more often look different from the other one? Part B. Nadine put one of the watered models near a window. Why did the grass grow towards the window? Part C. Grass plants have root hairs. Which diagram shows a root hair cell? Tick the correct box. Part 2. Fill the gaps in the sentence below. Root hairs take in blank and blank from the soil. Question 3. The table shows how hydrogen carbonate indicator solution changes colour when the concentration of carbon dioxide in it changes. Now we've got a table. The first column is concentration of carbon dioxide, and the second column is colour change. So, if the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, the colour will go from orange to yellow. And if the concentration of carbon dioxide decreases, the colour will go from orange to purple. Sunil set up an experiment to shown below and put both test tubes on a windowsill. So you can see in test tube A we've got maggots on a wire mesh, and in test tube B we've got leaves on a wire mesh. But both test tubes have this hydrogen carbonate indicator in the bottom. So use the information in the table to help you answer the questions below. Part A. The indicator in test tube A changed from orange to yellow. Section 1. What process in the cells of the maggots caused this colour change? Section 2. Explain what happens in this process to cause the colour change. Part B. The indicator in test tube B changed from orange to purple. Section 1. What process in the cells of the leaves caused this colour change? Section 2. Explain what happened in this process to cause the colour change. Part C. Sunil then put 2 fresh leaves into test tube C containing 30 centimeters cube of orange hydrogen carbonate indicator. He added some maggots on a piece of wire mesh as shown below. He then put the test tube on a windowsill. So here in test tube C you've got the leaves, and you've got the maggots, and you've got the indicator. The indicator remained orange. Explain why. Question 4. Hydrogen carbonate indicator solution changes colour when the amount of carbon dioxide dissolved in it changes. This is shown in the table. So, the colour of the indicator solution will go reddish orange if the same amount of carbon dioxide is dissolved in the solution as in the air. The indicator solution will go yellow if there is more carbon dioxide dissolved in the solution than in the air. And the colour of the solution will go purple if there is less carbon dioxide dissolved in the solution than in the air. 5 test tubes were set up as shown below. Air was bubbled through hydrogen carbonate indicator solution, which was then poured into each test tube. Test tube A contains small snails. B contains waterweed. C contains small snails and waterweed. D has been wrapped in black paper but contains waterweed, and E is a control. The test tubes were left in sunlight for 2 hours. Part A1. What would the colour of the indicator solution in test tube A? So I'll read that again. A1. What would be the colour of the indicator solution in test tube A? Question A2. Name the process taking place in the cells of the snails which causes this colour change. B1. What would be the colour of the indicator solution in tube B? B2. Name the process taking place in the cells of the waterweed which causes this colour change. Part C. The colour of the indicator solution in tube C did not change. Explain why. Tube D is wrapped to keep the light out. It contains waterweed but no snails. After 24 hours in the dark, what would be the colour of the indicator solution in tube D? Tick the correct box. Would it be reddish orange, yellow, or purple? Question 5. Mammals use fat as long-term... Question 5a. Mammals use fat as a long-term store of energy. Part 1. The diagram shows some simple apparatus for investigating the amount of energy released by burning fat. You've got a thermometer that is inside a beaker containing 1 kilogram of water. This is above a dish of burning fat and a draft shield. 4.2 kilojoules of energy will raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree centigrade. 1 gram of fat contains 38.5 kilojoules of energy. Calculate the rise in temperature of 1 kilogram of water if half a gram of fat is burned. Show your working. Part 2. Fat is stored in layers beneath the skin. This fat is part of the body's energy reserve. Give another function of the layers of fat. B. Mammals use glucose as a fuel in respiration in their cells. The word equation for respiration is glucose plus oxygen makes carbon dioxide plus water. Mammals with a high rate of respiration need to have a high heart rate. Explain why. Question 6. Diagram 1 shows a yeast cell. Part A. Name structures A and B. B. Yeast cells can respire anaerobically. The equation for anaerobic respiration in yeast is glucose makes alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Give one way in which anaerobic respiration in yeast cells is different from anaerobic respiration in human muscle cells. Part C. Yeast can use other types of sugar instead of glucose. Some scientists investigated the effect of 3 different types of sugar on the rate of anaerobic respiration in yeast. The scientists used the apparatus showed in diagram 2 with glucose sugar. They kept the apparatus at 20 degrees centigrade. They repeated the investigation with fructose sugar and then with mannose sugar. They repeated the investigation with water instead of the sugar solution. So there's diagram 2. You've got a gas syringe with a plunger. The carbon dioxide pushes the syringe plunger out, and there is 20 centimeters cubed of yeast suspension and 20 centimeters cubed of 10% sugar solution in the flask. Part 1. Give 2 control variables the scientists used in this investigation. Part 2. The graph shows the scientists' results. On the x-axis, you've got time in minutes. On the y-axis, you've got total volume of carbon dioxide released in centimeters cubed. Then you have got 4 different lines. The fructose one is the solid line. The glucose one is the fine dotted line. And the mannose one is the dashed line. And the water one goes along the bottom here like that. From this information, a company decided to use fructose to produce alcohol and not mannose or glucose. Explain the reason for the company's choice. Question 7. Paula is training for a marathon. When she runs, her heart beats faster than it does when she is resting. Complete the sentences using the words from the box. Now the words you've got in the box are blood, breathe, carbon dioxide, glucose, heat, nitrogen, oxygen, respire. When she is running, Paula's muscle activity increases. To do this, her muscle cells blank at a faster rate to give her more energy. Her muscle cells need to be supplied with blank and blank more quickly. Her heart beats faster to increase the flow of blank, which carries the products blank and blank away from her muscles. And that is the final question. Please email me your finished test and I'll mark it and I'll send it back for you.